Hey, I'm glad you brought up Paul Rodriguez, man. I guess I recently met Paul Rodriguez. You know what? I think everybody has a Paul Rodriguez story, right? It's like everyone I would always meet would always tell me a Paul Rodriguez story, and I would always be like, "Wow, like that's awesome!" Like thinking that I was never gonna get to meet him, right? I'll tell you one thing about Paul Rodriguez.
Tell me.
Not once have I ever heard anything bad about Paul Rodriguez.
I have not either.
All the stories that all the Paul stories always start off with, I was there and I met him and he was the nicest guy.
Absolutely, man.
And you know what? And the way I met him, I was standing outside the Laugh Factory, and he walks out, and I was trying to get in, and Paul said, "Oh, let him in. He's with me."
Oh,
And I'm all like,
man.
"Oh my
That's the
God!"
coolest
I'm
thing.
like, "Really?"
That's who.
He goes, "Go on in. You're fine."
Wow. See,
And I was like, "Wow, Paul,
that's total respect.
Yeah,
That's
man,
total
for
respect.
sure. Best podcast in Long Beach, California. This is Tacos and Workouts. What it is. Podcast. Orale, Holmes, it's me, Little Hater, the best podcast in Long Beach. And we have here with us today a very special guest. Tell him who you is.
This is Humberto Mesa. How are ya?
What do you do, Doc? Tell him what you do, Doc.
I'm an actor, producer, director, and a comedian. That's kind of what I do right now.
Well, you're an actor, Doc?
Yeah, actor, man. I act like a fool all the time. You know what I mean?
That's right. What kind of acting do you do, Doc?
Well, mostly drama, but I've done some comedic acting. I started back in 1994 in Northern California, the Bay Area, from San Jose, California. That's where I'm from.
You're from the northern side of California's?
That's right, all the way up, before San Francisco.
Okay.
Before San Francisco.
And then now you came down here, like, so you could work in the movies and stuff like that?
Exactly, that's what I did. I started back in 1994. It was a fluke, I should say. I was at dinner with a girlfriend, and I was presented to be in a movie as an extra, and that's how I got started. That movie, by the way, was Angels in the Outfield.
Angels in the Outfields?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's the one with the little kid. He goes, "Hey, I don't got a dad or something, and I want the Angels to win because of something." And then he's like, Tony Danza was there,
Yes.
And then the little kid was like seeing things in his head, and then it turns out that the kid was kind of crazy because who actually sees the like the stuff and then they put the kid in jail, and that's the one.
That's the one.
Just
the
kidding.
one.
That didn't happen. Doc. That didn't happen.
A couple of things happened. There was an angel.
Yes.
And there was baseball. Baseball played by angels. No, it was just one angel.
And then what other movies have you been
Christopher
in?
Lloyd. I was in a movie called The Net with Sandra Bullock, Metro with Eddie Murphy, and also a couple of other movies that I started out just doing background. That's kind of how it began. I bumped into a manager in San Jose who decided to just take me on, and he started putting me in different movies and stuff like that, and I ended up on a commercial called McDonald's, small little commercial, a regional, just in that area, and that's kind of like got the bug, man. That's what happened. It all got started then.
And then after you did the acting, so how'd you get involved into comedies? Because you also do comedies.
Yeah, I love hosting comedy shows. It's been quite a few years, but I used to do it back in 2007, 2008, and it all started as a DJ. I was in acting class, and an actor friend of mine said, "Hey, you have the DJ equipment. Would you like to DJ for our comedy shows?" I said, "Sure, why not?" So that's kind of how I started, and I started DJing for those shows. Next thing I know, a lot of comedians started walking up to me and asking me for like the music that they wanted to play before they came on the stage, and I became good friends with them. Sean Wayans was one of the guys that came up to me and talked to me and asked me, "Hey, can you play this particular song before I go up on stage?" I said, "Sure." He was on my show, the original show that we started back in 2007. So I just became good friends with them, and they wanted me to book them, and I was not even a producer of the show. So they just trusted me, and I felt really good about that. And eventually, I just went on my own and started my own show.
What's the name of your show, Doug?
It's called Too Crazy Comedy.
Why you call this the crazy comedy, Doug? Why?
Well, for many reasons. It all started with my wife, and we're
Is she crazy?
I don't want to say that. I don't want to go there. Okay,
I don't want to get you in trouble, Doug.
please don't get me in trouble, man. She's probably listening right now.
Hey, Doug. Well, you know me, Doug. I'm a little hater.
Well, put it this way. It started with us because we thought, you know what? I used to call the first show Too Crazy Tuesdays. And it all started there. And I said, you know what? I created that name. I'm going to keep that name. So Too Crazy Comedy just became because we wanted to have something different. And that's how it started. And now it's kind of like it means so many different things. Too Crazy could mean something to one person. Too Crazy could mean something to another person. So that's kind of how it all began.
Yeah, that's a good name, Doug.
Thank you, man.
I likes it, Doug.
Yes.
What kind of comedy is in the Too Crazy, Doug? It's like because I think you told me before that you like clean comedies.
Well, yeah. It started not so clean, and I had a lot of comics. Why do you call it Too Crazy Comedy if you want it clean? Well, the purpose of having a clean show, PG-13, might I say, right? Because I wanted to focus on having it on prime time. The whole goal of a clean show is to know that comedians that come to our show are professional, seasoned comedians who go on the show and could play or perform anywhere from prime time to cable to now streaming video. And that's what I wanted to focus on. I wanted to focus on the whole spectrum of comedy. So if we could do a clean show, then it could be on prime time, or it could be on cable, or any network. So now with streaming, it's endless. We can put it anywhere.
Well, I guess we're just gonna work together, Doug, because my comedy ain't clean, Doug.
But it doesn't have to be squeaky clean like Disney, okay? It could be PG-13 in a dash of R.
Look, Doug. I don't cuss too much. I don't think so. I don't remember.
He doesn't remember.
I don't remember. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. but the stuff I talked about, it's dirty, but only in your mind, Doug.
See, that's if it's up here. It's not down here. You know what I mean? If it's up here, okay, that's your perspective.
But you host, or you also do like the comedies yourself. Like you go up there and say your jokes. You do that too.
You know, I like to do both, but I love emceeing and hosting because I just want to pump up the crowd and make them excited to get the ball rolling, you know. But I do have some jokes, kind of.
Sort of.
Sort of. Let's think about this one. What joke could I tell you? No, there's no joke. It's life. Okay. I talk about what I look like, and I talk about how I grew up with polio. See, polio happened to me in Mexico. I was born in Mexico, and I was raised in San Jose, California, and I was adopted at 5 years old. So I tell people all the time, you know what? Polio gave me a limp. I like to call that my swagger, right? But I like to thank polio because it kind of saved my life. So I tell people about my story. And that's really important because I want people to get to know me personally at a personal level. But the jokes that I tell is mainly just to kind of make fun of myself and let people know, you know what? Because I have a disability, it doesn't mean that I can't do something bigger than what we expect.
All right, Doug. I have two things to say. First of all, Doug, I don't know what polio is, Doug.
Oh,
I don't know.
I gotta explain polio.
A little bit.
Okay.
Like in a minute.
All right. Polio is just a disease that paralyzes the nerve system, and it decreases the muscles. It's kind of like it shrinks the muscle tissue, and it deteriorates the muscles, and it shortens the length of whatever limb. So it affects it as you're growing, and polio affects the body that way. I was blessed to still be walking. Doctors told me that I couldn't walk, that I probably wouldn't be able to walk. But because the Lord blessed me, obviously, I'm grateful that I can still walk. You know, I walk with a little limp, but that's why I call it my swagger, because it's my personality. You know, so that's what polio is.
Hey, dog, I thought that you walk like that because you was a cholo, dog.
You know what? I'm telling you, polio is a cholo from Bakersfield.
Hey, dog, I like how you say that. Like you kind of make fun of yourself and stuff like
Yeah.
that. You know, why? Did you know I was a comedian, dog?
Now I know.
Yeah, yeah. You know, but the problem is that my mija says that all my funny moments are in the bedrooms, dog.
Oh, let's keep them there. Let's keep them in the bedroom.
That's what she says. Hey, you know what? You should bring them in the bedroom because all your funny moments are in the bedroom, dog.
Those are the best moments, man. Best moments.
Yeah, dog. But I like how you say that you make fun of yourself. And you know what, dog? I've been going out a lot and doing the comedies. And some of these comedians go out there and they go after the crowd and they start talking papas and then they make them feel like really bad. So what do you think about that, dog?
You know what? That's just not my cup of tea. That's not what I do. I enjoy communicating with people. I enjoy talking to people and just making them enjoy and have a good time. I don't go and pick at people. I make fun of myself only because I want people to get to know me. But here's the thing is, sometimes comedy is not just about a punchline. It's about storytelling. You want to tell people a story. And sometimes within the story, it's just funny. You know, like I tell people that most people think I look Middle Eastern, right?
I don't think so, dog.
Oh, well, you're one of the few.
I think you look a little Italian, dog.
Italiano, yes, for sure. Well, because my name is Umberto, right? It's Umberto. But most people do think that I look Middle Eastern. And I'm okay with that. I have no problem. And I love it because I love getting killer discounts at 7-Eleven.
Come on, dog. Come on. That's a funny joke, but we all know they don't give out discounts at 7-Elevens.
My boys do.
Oh, hey, the only discounts I get at the 7-Eleven is the 5-finger discount.
Oh, dang, man. Well, you've been ripped off.
I know, Doug. I know.
Oh, man, I tell you. But, you know, that's what it is. It's just knowing you and letting the audience in your life and just telling the story about who you are. And that alone could be funny.
Hey, Doug. So, like this, Doug. Like, if this is the way I feels about it, Doug. And you know, it's like just my opinions, Doug. But my feelings is like this, Doug. If you go after the audience, and the audience starts to heckle you, then you're a pendejo, Doug.
That's right.
You're a pendejo.
That's right.
Because you started it, dog. Look, the way I look at it is like, dog, it's all fun. It's all fun. You don't me llevo with nobody's, dog, right? But as soon as you open up the door, dog, and you start fucking with me, dog, then guess what, dog?
It's wide open.
That's right, dog. There's no holds barred, dog.
Exactly.
So I start coming at you, and then you start crying. You know, that's why I tell people I'm a little hater, dog. You know, you got to be careful. That's why I don't. When I see comics out there, dog, I go, "Oh, be careful, dog." They open up the door, and then they start crying, dog.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like, man, like you said, it opens up a whole new spectrum of people just attacking you. I mean, why do you want that? Comedy is not about attacking. Comedy is about, once again, telling a story, but also entertaining people. They want to get away from the hustle and bustle of life and come to your show. They want to have a good time. Put it this way. You've been to my show.
Yeah,
you were at my show last week.
I was at your show. Yeah. It was funny.
What did you think?
Yeah, I liked it, dog. I was like watching it. I was impressed, dog. I like the comedians you had. You had a Jerry Garcia, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
That's my boy.
You had Ruben from the What Up Partner.
That's right.
You had Narciso, right? He was up there. You had what's his name, Franz
Cassius.
Yeah. Oh, that guy. He made me laugh, dog.
Yeah.
He's made me laugh, dog. He was very
great
funny.
Guy, great funny guy.
He was very
man.
funny.
And even though he moved from New York to here, let me tell you, he hasn't been the same.
He's a funny guy. I can't wait to get him on my show, dog.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
man, you should.
tell me more about that show, though. How'd you get it together? How'd you put it on?
Well, it all kind of came back to me. I felt like I needed to do something special again, and I put it together for two reasons. Number one, I put it together for the fans, for the people that have been following me on Instagram and Facebook, and they've been talking to me and wanting me to put on a show again. And it's been like 12 years since I've done that show.
Wow.
So
dog.
I decided, why not? Let's give it a shot, right? And the second reason is because I want to continue to entertain people. I want people to understand that they can get away from life, stressful life, and come to my show and just forget about everything else and just enjoy themselves and have fun. And that's what people did. They had a lot of fun on the show.
And then afterwards, the people was dancing. You
Yeah.
know, it was cool.
That
dog.
was the cool thing. Yeah. I would have brought a live band, but I couldn't get them at that time because they were already booked. But I have a lot of friends who have bands and they would love to do the show after.
And that's like the first one of many shows to come, or
For
what?
sure, for
yeah?
sure. We've got more shows coming. I'm hoping that in the next month or two, we'll have the second show and moving on from there. The whole goal is to just have a consistent show that brings more people to come out and then just enjoy themselves and then just tell friends to come out and have some fun. That's about it. That's what it's about, man.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's about. Especially like on a Saturday night, you had nothing to do, and then you're home with your kids. Come on, Doc, just come out, hear some laughs, and you know what? Have a good time, Doc.
That's right. That's right. And we did it on a special weekend. We did it on Mother's Day weekend, which was even more special because we had all the mamas, the abuelitas. They were all there. It was great.
Hey, Doc, check it out, Doc. Sometimes like women, like they be saying like that today, you know, they have Mother's Day, right?
Yeah.
They have International Women's Day. I don't know, you know that?
International Women's Day.
Yeah, something like that,
On
right?
the same weekend?
No, not the same
Oh,
weekend.
okay, okay.
They say, oh, today's Women's Day, right?
Yeah.
And you know what I tell the women's in my life?
What?
Every day is Women's Day, Doc.
Really?
Because it's all about you, Doc, all the time. Look, my girlfriend number 1, my girlfriend number 2, my girlfriend number 3. It's always Women's Day, Doc, every single day.
Well, how many women have you had?
Well, right now I currently have 3 girlfriends, Doc.
Do you have them in different cities?
No, it's all. I gotta keep them local, Doc.
Oh, yeah.
Check it out, Doc. One of them buys me breakfast. The other one buys me lunch, and the third one buys me dinner.
There you
And
go.
I'm looking for the fourth one to buy me snacks.
in between all those food moments, right?
Yeah, Doc.
Awesome. Now, just out of curiosity, do they live within blocks of each other?
Within the same city, Doc.
Oh man,
Hey,
I
but
hope they
shh.
don't bump into each other at the
Hey,
stores.
but don't tell them, Doc. They don't know. They don't know
They don't know
about
each
it.
other?
They don't know about it.
Good.
Doc.
Keep it a secret. Don't tell one about the other.
That's the only. Hey, you know what they say is the way to keep a woman happy, Doc,
It's through what?
is if they don't know about the other girl. Doc.
That's what I'm talking
That's the only
about.
way to keep them happy.
Oh, good one, man. Oh, geez. I tell you, that's what life is about. You know what I mean?
That's what life
Having
was.
fun.
That's what life was for, Doc. To have many girlfriends, Doc. and then check it out, Doc. At the end, when you go to heaven, they count how many girlfriends you had, Doc. And whoever had the most girlfriends, that's who wins, Doc.
So, do you get all girlfriends with you? Do they all pull in?
No,
Say,
no.
"Yeah."
Oh, that's the thing, though. But since you're going to heaven, they don't get to go with you because it's
Oh.
heaven.
So you become by yourself.
Come on, Doc. Who needs the constant nagging and you didn't take out the trash? You know what? All you do is sit on the couch, drink beer all day. You don't take me out. I need a new purse. Come on, Doc. Who needs all that, Doc?
Exactly. The nagging, nah, I don't like it so much.
Hey, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Not now that
Oh,
it's
we're
a-
getting serious here,
it's
guys.
a little bit
Getting
of a serious. It's a
Okay.
little. All right.
Tone it down. Tone it down. Go ahead.
It's a serious question, Doc.
All right.
I think there's an epidemic, Doc,
Oh boy, epidemic. Epidemic of what?
of too many girls with fake butts, Doc.
Because babies don't got back.
It's like this, Doc. Look, all you mijas out there, you got a big fat butt, Doc, and it's like this. You guys are getting big fat butts, but your boyfriend's not getting penis enlargements. So how's that gonna work, Doc?
Oh my God.
How's that gonna work, Doc?
I don't know. I don't know. It's gonna be hard between the cheeks.
Exactly, hard between the cheeks. You got it,
Good
Doc.
one.
You
Good
got
one.
it, Doc.
He's the funny one. He's the funny one. I don't even know why that came out. I have no idea, man. He got started. Okay.
No, but don't you think like the mijas, you know, the ladies are getting too crazy with the big butts? It's
They
too
don't
mu-
lie.
it's
Big
like
butts
too-
do not lie.
It's like too much already, Doc. You know.
Of course. But you know what? That's what it's about. That's what they love. I don't know why. I mean, put it this way: any guy, I don't care who you are, who's not gonna look at a butt.
And well, butts are nice to look at, dog.
If they're round, you'll look at it. If they're not, you'll may look at it or may not.
Hey. Butts may be nice to look at, ugly to look at, smelly to smells, and everything. A butt's a butt. I'm still gonna look at it. I may not like this, but I'm gonna 100% look at it, dog. If you put that butt in front of me, dog, it's gonna get looked at, dog.
It may have a staring contest. Put it that way. It depends who wins the staring contest, you or me.
Hey, but don't stare at it too long, cause you'll get pink eye.
Oh, maybe. I don't want to look at it that long.
Hey,
Couple of
dog,
seconds.
Look, one of the reasons why I don't like mijas with like big butts too much is because that means I have to buy more toilet paper, dog.
Oh, is that the Charmin kind?
Charmin sucks, dog. they're not an official sponsor to the show.
Don't sponsor it. It's okay. We'll go with the Costco brand.
I buy the
Signature.
I buy the one at the discount store for 99 cents. That's the one I buy.
Oh, that's the fluffy one.
and then when I go to McDonald's, I steal their toilet paper. And then when I go to Starbucks, I steal their toilet paper
Oh
too.
my gosh.
So if you ever walk into like a Starbucks, a McDonald's, or a Burger King, and
You'll
there's
be out of
no
toilet
toilet paper, I was there, dogs.
He's the guilty one. I'm telling you.
Speaking of toilet paper, like during the COVID, did you play the toilet paper games?
I didn't have to. My wife worked at a store. So she got first dibs.
Oh, so you had
We were
it.
stacked up to here.
Oh man,
We got lucky.
you had it all figured out.
We did. Well, the thing is that we had to because we didn't realize how bad it would be. But we knew that we always stock up, you know. But we didn't know how bad it was going to be. We just got lucky that when she got the inventory in, she says, you know what? This might be a good idea. She was smart enough to do that. She was smart enough to do everything that was necessary during COVID because, you know, we were stuck inside. What else could we do? But because she was an essential store, she was able to gather all the essentials that were needed for our home and took good care of us. So I'm proud of her. Thank you, my love. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that for sure. Hey, listen, dog. Since all this talking about butts and toilet papers, I need to go take a dump, dog.
Please don't take a dump back here.
No, I
Not on the beach, okay?
I gotta go, but we're gonna take a short little break, dog, and a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
You got it. We'll be right back.
Orale, Holmes, it's me, Little Hater. Hey, check it out, dog. This podcast is brought to you in part by Bow Down Clothing. That's right, dog. That's what I wear, Bow Down Clothing. So if you want to look like a cholo vato, a firme vato, dog, get yourself some Bow Down Clothing.
What it is. Podcast. Hey man, what's up? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Little Hater called me in, man.
That's what it's about.
He turns out he got some chorro, man. He ate some bad tacos.
What the? See, I don't understand why he said he had to go take a dump. And I said, don't take a dump at the beach, okay? So I'm glad that he's not here.
Oh, man,
That guy's crazy.
especially
I mean,
a little
he's
hater,
cray-cray.
a little hater dump, man. Oh man,
Little hater dog. Yeah, for sure, man, for sure.
He probably takes a funny dump too, you know.
All the squiggly. Oh,
Yeah.
no, we don't even go there. No, we
Yeah,
don't go
let's
there,
move on.
Let's move on from the dump side.
So what were you guys talking about?
We're just talking about different things, you know, how I got started and, you know, in acting and the comedy show. And, you know, we're telling each other jokes.
Okay.
He was a funny one, though. He was a funny one. I thought I was funny, man. He was hilarious.
Wow, man. So I know you do comedy. I know
Yeah.
you do your own shows.
Yeah.
What's the end game with all this comedy that you're doing? Where do you want to take it? What's as high as you want to take it?
Believe it or not, I love to have my own talk show. My
Oh.
own sit-down talk show. And I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but just to give you a little snippet of what I was thinking. I wrote a show, a pilot, years ago called One Band, One Comic. And we shot it, this was back in 2007, 8? No, somewhere around there. 2010 probably. And we shot it with Christopher Kid and Play, Christopher Kid Reed from Kid and Play, and Joey Medina. and it was about a host interviewing a comedian and having a band perform after. But that was not what my intentions for Too Crazy Comedy was. That was just a pilot that I thought of, and then I thought about having a show that provides information and interviews two comics. That's where Too Crazy Comedy kind of takes more, force, I should say. Having a show where it's still have a monologue come in, have a sit down, have a comedian go up on the stage, perform for about 7 minutes, come down, interview him, then have a break, have another comedian come up, have him do his stand-up comedy, then come down, interview him, just like a talk show.
Like
But
a
it would
talk
be
show.
it would be Too Crazy Comedy Show. That's where I want to
That
take
sounds
it.
like a great idea, man.
Nobody does that right now. Oh man,
yeah, for sure.
you know what? You listening? Don't you copy me? That's my idea. It's all mine.
Well, that's the problem with the business, man. There's a whole bunch of copycats and stuff.
I
like,
know.
You know, and some
It's all good. I've already copywritten it. Don't worry. I've already wrote the script. All right.
that's cool, man. That would be something fun to see, man. You know what? The first Tonight Show that I ever saw was Jay Leno, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But then towards the end, the kind of like you could tell that he was kind of just like phoning it in, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I guess your idea is more reminiscent of kind of like what Carson used to be. I don't watch Carson too much.
Well, Carson had a lot of different little skits and things like that, and he did have comedians coming up, but he had a volume of different ideas on his show. You know, he was doing crazy things, like he had a time where he would come out in a certain outfit and he portray a certain character, or he would have a cooking show kind of, on his show, which was pretty cool. I just want to make it as simple as possible, but make sure that the audience gets entertained, but also gets to understand and know the comedian at a personal level.
Yeah, because you know what? There's a lot of disconnect,
and
right?
downs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's sometimes like I'll be watching a comedian, and I really like I see him on stage, right? And then when I talk to him in person,
They're different.
they're a little bit different. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
For sure.
the persona on stage is different than the person. I am more like, I want to get the audience to understand the comedian and get to know them off stage, off their persona, and that's where I come in.
Speaking of comedians, who's your? I know. I'm pretty sure you have many favorites, right?
I can't even name one. So many.
I don't mean to put you on the spot, because that's really not a fair question to ask somebody, right? So the way I look at it, it's like this. I have many favorite comedians, right? But it's like it changes from day to day, right? So it's like if you could name maybe someone who you really enjoy, who would that be?
Well, I'm gonna go back to like the old days. The old days from Saturday Night Live, like the Eddie Murphys, the Richard Pryors, the Tim Allens. Well, he wasn't on SNL, but all these guys, the Paul Rodriguez, all these guys.
Oh, big shout out to our good friend Paul Rodriguez, man. Paul Rodriguez.
Shout out to you, brother.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to you, man. It was a pleasure to meet you back at the Laugh Factory. I think that's where we met. Those guys are just, they're legends. But the way they tell the stories is what I love the most, and you learn so much from them, because those are the OGs, man, the OGs, and I love that. I mean, I love new comedians. I love Joey Medina. I love the Wayans brothers. I mean, all these, they're not new, but all these guys that came out later, they're great. I love them, but I like to go back to the OGs, the old guys. I don't want to call them old because I'm going to get in trouble. Sorry, Paul. I'm not calling you old. But I'm just saying that back in those days, man, that's what comedy was about, And I love that, man. I'm an old soul. So I go back to the old days, and that's what I love. Eddie Murphy, when he first came out, I mean, man, he was explosive, with Raw and all the other performances that he had, but he was explosive and he was just genuine and different, and that's what I love, man. I love uniqueness, and that's who I would love to have on my shows. On Too Crazy Comedy, I want to have those guys on my show. So if you're out there and you want to be on my show, let's connect.
Hey, I'm glad you brought up Paul Rodriguez, man. I guess I recently met Paul Rodriguez. You know what? I think everybody has a Paul Rodriguez story, right? It's like everyone I would always meet would always tell me a Paul Rodriguez story, and I would always be like, "Wow, like that's awesome!" Like thinking that I was never gonna get to meet him, right? I'll tell you one thing about Paul Rodriguez.
Tell me.
Not once have I ever heard anything bad about Paul Rodriguez.
I have not either.
All the stories that all the Paul stories always start off with, I was there and I met him and he was the nicest guy.
Absolutely, man.
And you know what? And the way I met him, I was standing outside the Laugh Factory, and he walks out, and I was trying to get in, and Paul said, "Oh, let him in. He's with me."
Oh,
And I'm all like,
man.
"Oh my
That's the
God!"
coolest
I'm
thing.
like, "Really?"
That's cool.
He goes, "Go on in. You're fine."
Wow. See,
And I was like, "Wow, Paul."
that's total respect.
Yeah,
That's
man,
total
for
respect.
sure.
I'll tell you my story, and I've only met him once. Two things I remember. Number one, all I did was ask him, "Hey, can I talk to you for a minute?" He said, "Sure, come on into my office." His office was right next to the bathroom. He's drinking, having a smoke. He goes, "Yeah, what's up?" And we just talked, for a couple of minutes or whatever. And I just wanted to invite him to my show. That's how we met. I mean, that's the coolest guy, man. I total respect and I honor, and it was just a privilege and an honor to be there with him. But
Yeah,
he's so cool.
man. We have to back this guy up 100%, man, because he did a lot for all of us.
For the Latinos,
for all the
man.
comedians.
Yeah.
He opened up the door for all of us, and he's still out there doing it, man.
Exactly.
Hey, guys, if you have not seen a Paul Rodriguez show, man, he's touring.
can't
He's
miss
still around. He's out there. You just gotta go find him. Look, I think he's doing a couple shows. No, actually, I think he has a residency here in Long Beach
Yeah.
at the Laugh Factory, and one in Hollywood.
Yeah,
and
Thursday nights.
and it's called Spanglish.
Spanglish, yes.
So do me a huge favor, guys. Go support my friend Paul Rodriguez. It's Wednesdays at Long Beach and Thursdays in Hollywood.
That's right.
So just go to Laugh Factory. Go check him out. He has plenty of talented Chicano, Mexicano comedians, and you're gonna have a good time, man, for sure.
Exactly. And you know what? He tells his stories different all the time. You're not going to be how can I put it? You're not going to be, what's that word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
When you see Paul Rodriguez, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he definitely changes it up.
Changes it up like that,
Yeah,
but he's
all the time.
He's just so amazing. It's like he gets up there. I mean, he reads the crowd, number one, and he just goes out and he just does his thing. I mean, it could be one little simple tweak in his comedy, but man, he makes it sound like he's done it for years, which he has, obviously. But he's such a great guy. He's down to earth, but he's funny, and he is just so natural. I love that about him.
Yeah, big shout out to Paul.
Yeah. Man.
One of my favorite comedians, who's not around with us anymore, right? And this is why I think comedy is so important, right? Because comedy is it lives in a moment, but it lives on forever.
Yeah.
Right. So it's because comedy has the potential to make you laugh now, and then make you laugh in the future when you remember it. And that's what's so beautiful about comedy.
That's right.
It's Patrice O'Neill. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him.
Patrice O'Neill. I've heard the name.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him.
I think he used to come out in the Opie and Anthony show a lot,
Okay.
which I'm not too familiar with their show, but that's kind of what I heard. He had a comedy special. It was called Elephant in the Room. He was a big, heavy set dude with diabetes. He was a black dude.
I don't think I've seen
Oh,
him.
okay, yeah. If those who know, he's one of my favorite comedians. And then Ronnie Dangerfield.
Oh my gosh.
No
Don't even go
respect,
there,
no
dude.
respect.
Rodney, classic. And that's another OG right there.
Oh, for sure.
Rodney. But you know what? It took him, I think, until after his 50th birthday to really get recognized. Because sometimes it takes people at an older age to really put a footprint in their career.
It doesn't happen overnight, that's for
No,
sure.
not at all, man. You can be doing comedy for like 10, 20 years.
Yeah, that's rough.
It is very rough, but also you're learning and you're experiencing everything through that, But Rodney was a classic, and he was just such an amazing comedian, and he had the timing down, man. The timing was perfect.
He had to understand. He had the understanding of his style of comedy, and he brought it up, man.
But nobody else did that. Nobody else had his style. No one, and that's what made him so unique.
And I don't think nobody has his style even now.
No, I haven't seen anybody do it, not at all. But he got away with it because number one, the way he looked, and
Yeah.
his character, and just the way he presented it. He just kind of just put it out there, and people were just loving that. Just like Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey with all his contours of his face and all this, and his characters in and out of characters. That's what made Jim Carrey.
Yeah, I recently found out that he's. I think Minty Short was trying to portray him as the man with 1,000 faces.
Was it really?
Or I think so. If I can remember, and I was like, wait a minute, but he does. He's able to like kind of like morph or manipulate his face a little
Yeah.
to he goes, oh, this is so and so, right? And then he'll contour his face, and then I was like, yeah, I could kind of see it. So that's talent within itself.
Absolutely, man. And I heard Jim Carrey used to spend hours in front of the mirror doing all those facial movements. I mean, hey, that's what it takes. Then you got to do it, right?
You got to do what you got to do. That's
Exactly.
for sure. I've been working on a Robert De Niro impression.
Okay. Give
Yeah.
it to me.
I don't know,
Let-
man.
Let the audience see your
No,
Robert.
I don't know. It still needs a little work, but hopefully I could try to get it right.
All right.
It goes a little something like this. Forget about it.
We're forgetting about it right now.
It still needs work. It still needs work.
It's all good, man. It's all good. See, that was pretty good. That whole face. Forget about it. That was great, man. That was great.
Yeah, I'm working on this joke, and it's in the beginning stages, and it'll get there.
You will have it down in no time, man. In no time.
Do you ever tour around and do some of the open mics?
Once again, I haven't done this for a while, so I probably will. I just haven't yet. My first show, I would just put it out there and stuff, but I think I will.
Yeah, you should come out with me.
why not?
You should start hitting some of the open mics.
I definitely will.
Hey, something crazy happened to me at one of the open mics.
Did you get heckled?
No, wow. Yeah, you know
That's
what?
the crazy thing, right? That's
That
the
tends
crazy
to
thing. I mean,
happen.
who doesn't get heckled?
No, I showed up at an open mic, and the comedian started going after like the crowd, right?
Mhm.
And then I'm
Don't
sitting.
tell me you came after that
No,
comedian.
I try not to. Look, I try to be as respectful as possible
Yeah.
because I don't like it when people heckle the comic.
Yeah.
But then I also don't like it when the comic goes after the people,
audience, yeah.
right? So the guy he was heckling the comic was going after the crowd. And then he looked at me and he called me by name, and then I go, "Oh, you know me?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "We are in Long Beach. Everybody knows you." And I was like,
Small world.
And I was like, "Oh wow!" So it's like I'm getting a lot of these like sightings where I go places and people are like, "Oh, come on in. We know who you are." And I'm
See,
like,
he's
"Wow,
like
that's
Waldo. He pops up everywhere.
crazy." Yeah, it's just you never know like where I'm gonna pop up, man. It's kind of cool, man, that I'm starting to get that a little bit. Yeah.
So if you walk into a restaurant and you see him, it's really not him. It's just a pop-up of him in front of the restaurant. And you know those pop-ups that have the hole in the face? That's him. You can just go in there and put your face right through there. And hey, take a picture of him, of his body, and your face.
yeah.
That'd be great. We should do that.
We should do something like that.
Yeah.
You know what we should do? We should do some of those the thing that a lot of these younger cats are doing, like these little skits and whatever for TikTok. We should probably figure out something fun to do, something like that.
Okay, just don't get me to dance.
Ah, man, that's
Because the only dance I can do is the stanky leg.
the stanky leg.
Stanky leg is all I can do, man. No other dance can I used to kind of pop and, do a little bit of that, but that was back in the day when I was taller and better looking.
You used to be taller.
Okay, I lied. I was better looking.
I was like, wow. I'm not like, I
But I
think-
am shrinking, okay? Look, here's the thing. I'm as good looking as Rob Schneider and an inch taller than Kevin Hart. Kevin, we're bros, man. We're bros. And Rob, we're just brothers from another mother.
Hey, you know what? Rob Schneider.
Is he a listener? Is he a watcher?
No,
Is he a
he's
viewer?
not. He's not.
He's got to be. Come on, Rob. Watch the show, bro.
You know what? Rob Schneider, I really used to like his stuff, man. Like Deuce Bigelow.
Yeah,
I think he's married.
He's in every movie with Adam Sandler. Come on.
Yeah,
They're
man.
like buddies, right?
Very versatile, man. He plays
Yeah.
all the, so he's a really good actor. I think he's married to a Latina. Did you know that?
Is that why he speaks Spanish?
He speaks Spanish.
Yeah.
And he's a big Tigres fan, right?
Yes, I think so.
I'm like,
Isn't that crazy?
wow, that's crazy, man.
But see, on this side, I look like Rob. See, right here.
Yeah, man.
Just kidding.
Which-
It's the hair. It's the hair.
Which goes to show how fun and beautiful it is to be Latino.
Exactly. It doesn't matter what kind of Latino. You're Latino, man. I don't care what country you're from.
It-
But South
it's-
America, you're Latino.
It's like this. It comes from the heart,
That's
right?
right. It's in the soul.
It's in the
of
heart.
right here. You're a Latino, born and raised, or even if you're not second generation, third generation, you're Latino in the heart.
Hey, bringing about that, or
Heritage.
yeah, your heritage. You brought it up. I'm like, hey, that's a good question.
Well, I've been doing my genealogy lately, and I found out that I'm Italian, Spanish, and Mexican.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So my mom's maiden name is Lomeli, and it comes
Uh-huh.
from the Italian surname of Lomellini, which is an Italian name. And then, of course, the Spanish name Mesa comes from Spain. Although they
Yeah.
changed they moved the S and they put a Z on it. So I don't even know why. But I think the Mexicans did that, okay? Blame them. But the Spaniards have it with an S.
Okay.
So
Okay. Yeah, you know what? I'm scared to do that 23andMe thing.
Well, I didn't do that one. I did the ancestry.
What's the difference? They both swab you, right?
Yeah, they both do the same thing, but I think ancestry is just more popular, maybe, or ancestry is like more commercialized, I guess. But they have a lot of people joining now, or whatever they're doing, or swabbing, registering, whatever it is. But more people are doing that, which allows us to learn more about our background, our bloodline, everything. The more people commit to doing that, the more we'll know about where we really came from, even though there's going to be stories behind the story, like it looks like on mine, I'm 49% Spaniard and part Italian, but mostly Spaniard.
You see, my biggest thing is this, man. I'm scared to do the 23andMe where they look at your DNA.
Why is that?
Because it's gonna come up and it's gonna say you're 99% fat. So I'm all like, you know what? Fuck that shit. I don't need to know what I already know, man. Hey, check it out, man. I went to the doctor and he told me like, hey, I got news for you. You're fat, and I'm all like, motherfucker,
What happened?
I have a mirror, right? I know how fat I am, right?
And you have a scale, but you don't want to get on it every single day. That's a bad
No,
thing.
but check this out, right? I'm all like, he at least was 100 pounds heavier than I was,
Oh.
and he's telling me that I needed to lose weight.
Wait. He's telling you to lose weight, but yeah, he's 100 pounds
He
heavier.
was 100 pounds heavier than me, and I'm all like, motherfucker, I've been coming to you since I was 13. I'm like 25 now. I'm 30 years old now, and you still have not lost weight yourself.
That's not a good example. Doc, you want to be a good example? Get on the bike together.
Oh man, that's crazy. Do you ever have people like heavy people trying to give you like health advice?
Not really.
No,
But the skinny people, man, let me tell you, they tell me all the time.
but you look like a solid dude. Like you ain't got no issues.
I used to be in wrestling. I was a wrestler
Okay.
in high school, and I only wrestled 4 times, and all 4 times I wrestled against bigger guys than me.
Mm-hmm.
Only because I knew that I couldn't really beat them at the top. I had to beat them on the floor.
Okay.
See, with me, I wrestled against the taller guys and the bigger guys because I practiced with the seniors when I was a freshman, and they were like 50 pounds heavier than me. And I wanted to make sure that if I could wrestle with them, I can wrestle with anybody. So what my coach told me one day, he says, you know what? In this tournament, I want you to let them bring you down. Bring you down, let them knock you down. They'll get the point, no problem. But when they're down, go ahead and pin them. And that's what I would do. So I was 4-1, and that was the best year of my life, man, because I got to wrestle and learn that it doesn't matter the size or the shape. What matters is the agility, the speed, and the smartness.
That's a great like life advice, man.
For sure, man.
Do you have any other great life advice that you want to give our viewers watching
For sure,
the
man. For
channel?
sure. Listen, I got two mottos, okay? First motto is this: there are no limits to success. Okay, the success comes from here. It doesn't matter what success it is, as long as you feel successful, then it's success. So there are no limits. It doesn't matter who you are, what you want to do, what your goals are. That's what matters. No limits to success. And my second motto is this: aim high, work hard, stay focused. Aim high for your goals, work hard at them, and stay focused. When you follow those three things, I guarantee you, man, you'll be successful. I guarantee. I'm a living proof, okay? I came from nothing, from a poor family. I was adopted. And all I did was I came to Los Angeles on a dream and $800.
Wow.
That's all it was. $800 and a dream. And here I am. I'm living my dream, man.
That's a story right there. Look, man, you were adopted. You came with
right.
with little money, and now you're producing your own shows, and
Right.
you're doing it big, you're making big moves in the entertainment industry, man. That's something. Why don't we do this?
Yeah.
Why don't you just tell them your info? We'll tag this on the description on YouTube. Oh, by the way, in case you do not know, we're available pretty much everywhere. Look, we're on Chicano Hollywood. We're on Roku. I think we're on Fire Stick, and I think 4 other platforms that I cannot recall at the moment. We are here at our home on YouTube, right? Tacos and Workouts on YouTube, and on all audio formats. We are on the What It Is podcast, best podcast in Long Beach, California. But before we go, let's give them all your information.
For
So
sure,
if
man.
anybody wants to connect with you and wants to work with you, and either through a Too Crazy Comedy or in the entertainment industry, they could build that relationship.
For
with
sure,
you.
for sure.
So tell them where to find you.
Sorry, I cannot give you my digits, but I'll give you my socials. All right, so you can find me on Instagram, official Humberto Mesa. That's official Humberto Mesa. That's with an H. Okay, I am Mexican. And also Too Crazy Comedy, the number 2, Crazy Comedy on Instagram. Just DM me there, and we'll connect.
Wow, there it is, man. Hopefully you guys enjoy.
Oh, one last thing. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
HumbertoMesa.com. You can find some footage there, some things, some behind the scenes. I'm gonna start uploading a few more things, but HumbertoMesa.com is my website as well.
Wow, that's great. Look, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed bringing this episode to you. Do me a huge favor, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Share the content, and we'll see you guys next time.
You got it.